Good morning and welcome to the craft room. I'm Ellie Barnes. I'm just going to check that we are going live in the correct place, and that will give us time for more people to join in. Nothing worse than going live somewhere completely wrong, but it looks like we're live in the right place, so that's a good start. Now, hopefully you've been getting ready for Christmas like I have. It's been a madhouse here. We have the decorations up. We have the Griswold lights up out the front because that's what our daughter loves. And now it's present wrapping time. And I always love to make my own gift tags and to wrap the presents in a special way so that it's a gift just to look at it, if you know what I mean. There's these crappy little, throw it in a bag and there's no thought in it. I think it's part of the giving of the gift is the gift of what it looks like when they receive it. You love something with your eyes and it really needs to look special. So I try to make my Christmas gift tags match in with my Christmas paper. So today what I want to do is show you, first of all, what I'm doing for my Christmas wrapping. And second, I want to show you a variety of different Christmas gift tags you can make depending what you have at home and what you've got left over. If you're like me, I'm running very low on my Christmas stuff, so I might have to jump online and buy some more because we've still got a few weeks, and it's some of the Christmas things are in the last chance, so they're cheap. So do that. Grab what you can. You can use it for next year as well. But in the meantime, let's have a look what we can create with what we've got left over. And don't forget all those bits. If you've cut something and you've stuck it aside and thought, oh, didn't need that extra set of holly leaves, grab them out. Use them as your gift tags because that's what's going to help you get all your gift cards made. Now, I'm going to turn you down to the desk and we're going to have a look at where we're going to start today. There's that lovely ceiling. Now, this is probably the cleanest bit of my whole craft room, by the way. If your craft room is near your living or family room like mine is, you too will know that it becomes a dumping ground at this time of year. Now, I'm using two papers for Christmas. I'm using this one. Usually I use red, but this time I've gone for just gold and white, really. So these are my two papers that I'm mixing and matching for my Christmas. So I wanted to pick out the colours in here, and I had a whole lot of trouble trying to find what would go with this. It's not petal pink, and it's not crumb cake, and it's not beige, and it's not very vanilla. And I thought nothing seems to match it. So I've gone with crumb cake. And you'll see, let me bring in what we're going to be using. You'll see here, oh, it's got stuck. It's not too bad a match because I'm going to actually put white on top. So let's get the paper aside for a minute. It's all curling up. And let's have a look at what we're going to make. I'm going to be using, I'll show you what I'm using with each set of gift tags. I've got all the bits here. I'm using these dies. So I've cut out that one. I've done all the die cutting so we can just get into crafting. So I've done this one out of there and this one's out of here. Last week, remember, I cut all the words out. I've got them all here. All these words out for the card. Well, I've got them all here. We're going to use some of those on our gift tags just so that we use up what we've got. I did have the bows cut out. Ooh, I've got a bow cut out. It did have the little dot, but it may have gone missing. That's all the string I've got left in the gold and white string. So we'll use up that little bit. I'll show you those in a minute. But I'll just see if I can find that other little piece. Oh, here it is. It's tiny. So let's get this stuck together and I'll show you what I'm doing for my tags. Now, you could cut these out using double-sided tape. Not double-sided tape, adhesive sheets. I didn't. I've just cut them out and put a little bit of glue around the edges and a couple on the inside. And what I have when I'm doing this sort of work is a wipe. And I'm actually going to use the back of that, because that'll be the other side where I'm going to stamp to and from on. So we're just going to let that stick down. Now, I'll just grab, I haven't got any blocks left. I'll use my big one. I just put a block on it for a minute. It holds it all in place, sticks it down, and then I've got my, while I'm using that, I usually do cut out the joy or the bow or whatever else. I am going to use the to and from. Now, I had to have a look. This seasonal tags has a great big to and from. I am using 2 to and froms because there's another one. There was another one, which was that in Magic and Hope. So if you've got either of these, you've got a very small to and from and a big to and from. I have used both in these tags that we're going to see today. So this is how I do this bow. And I've done a few of these tags, believe me. I put a little dot there. I then dab this on that little dot. So I've got a little bit of glue on that one. I then take my pick and pick up this and dab it on that little bit of glue, because you don't need a lot of glue. So I now have glue on those 3 pieces. I then put my bow on here. Push it down for a sec. I then put this piece on top with its dot of glue, and then I push this down. Now, it does, like that's just slid, but I can get it all back into place. And then I just push it down with the tip. And while that's drying, there I put this on. Now, we will put the string on in a minute and stamp the back, but while that's drying, let me show you. I've done them in, this one's moved, doesn't matter, it's come undone. I've done them in all the 3 different ones on the crumb cake paper, all using the different words, all the bows. You can see I've made the most of my little bit of twine. I've just been tying that around the other gold ribbon that I've been using on my parcels, on my presents. So that's how I've done this one. Let's turn it over. We'll take the big to and from. I've just used crumb cake on the back. Should be on a stamp mat for a better result, but we'll just do this. So it's a subtle to and from. That's the front. Let's put the string on, get rid of this. This one's a tad longer. That's about the length I would normally do. And there's my Christmas tags. So that's what I'm putting on my presents to match with my 2 papers. So if I bring my papers out, and then I'm just using a variety of gold ribbons, most of them left over from my other Stampin' Up supplies. So they're the tags I'm using, and it blends in lovely. Now, I am going to play around a bit more, but I haven't had chance with the, what do they call that? Modern Christmas, I think it is, Ornamental Christmas, where they have the ornament die. And I thought, oh, that might look nice too. So I just had a quick play with that and put it on a circle, but you could use just the shape as well. So that's one I just sort of played with quickly before we came on to see what I could do. And I think that would work quite well. You could stamp on the back to and from. You could also just use the cutout itself, the ornament itself, without putting it on a circle. So, and that would go nicely with this paper. So that's just some ideas there of what I'm doing for my presents. But what else can we do? We've got all this lovely Stampin' Up stuff. Well, if we're still using this set, let's have a look at some of these. Okay, this is where I've done 2 different colours. I've done the shaded spruce with the beautiful shaded spruce ribbon, and the real red with the real red shiny ribbon. Same as what I did before, but just different colours. And you can also do the same thing in the same colour. Now, it is subtle, but subtle can look beautiful on a present too. So it gives you those lovely images. And I'll show you each one. I've got the snowflake one here. And the striped one. So subtle can look lovely too. So they're just some ideas. If you've got this set, you could do a variety. You could do different designer series paper behind them, or you could just do different colours, grab whatever ribbons you've got left over. But there's a great variety. If you have this set, you'll be right for ever with your Christmas dies, I think. I love it. But what if you don't have this set? What if the only thing you bought was the Traditions of Christmas gift tag, Traditions of Christmas paper, and it had the bling, it had the dies. What have we got? It should be here. I had it all here. Did I put it away? I've got these dies here. I did have it all here, but oh, look, here it is. You might have had the words and the dies. You've got the papers. What else? You've got those dies there with the pictures. You could easily cut out, where's that one? Bring it back. The paper with one of these if you had this. And that would be your tag. I've seen a beautiful tag done just like that. So I might even do that to show you. But if you haven't, you've got just this set. Well, cut yourself out a square or a rectangle. This, I do my gift tags all the same size. This is 10.5 that way and 5.5 this way. So then I have my paper, designer series paper, 10 by 5. And I just stick that on. So let's give ourselves some room. We'll just stick that on. Right. It's fairly straight, not perfect, but that's all right. Now, what I tend to do is when this set came out, I don't know if it's in clearance or if it's still available. There were 3 little punches and I grabbed them because this is, well, the 3 of them are essential, I think. You've got the straight line on one, you've got the dot on one, and you've got this one. And when you're making gift tags, this makes your life easy. And I'm just going to put it in. I'll do it at the back so you can see. I put it in, and I put it in far enough that the circle is on the edge of that line. And I just press. And then we have a spot for our ribbon. Now, the ribbon that came with this set is red. So you can use red with it. In fact, we will for this one, because we're just using the set. Now, I don't have much of this left. I've got a lot of big ones left. A couple of little ones in the blues. Blue's my main colour left. I have a few big red ones left too. But that's all I've got left of these, and this is about the third pack I've gone through. So I'm not racing out to buy another pack. So I'm going to use blue. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to get my red stamp pad, because that'll go nice with it. And I'm going to stamp just for you that stamp there onto here. Now, I think I will use a stamp mat. We need to get some room here so we can work. Just for you. So that's done. I'll put that out of the road. On this one, I want to stamp to and from. Now, I think this to and from might be, it's a bit big for me on this. So I'm going to stamp this little to and from. Now, it's only tiny, but it's just, and I haven't even got that straight, but it'll do. I'm not too fussed because I'm just going to quickly write on the back. That's all the stamping. Now, this has got gold in it, and I want to bring the gold in. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the edge off, because this smaller one is too small for just for you. So I needed the bigger one. But there's not a die in this set that goes around that's small. And I only really want a small edge around it. I want to cover up that edge. Now, I'm not wasting the middle. The middle will be used to cut out either words or stars or anything small that I need for my gift tags. So I put that aside. On here, I'm just going to rub. As the glue comes out, I sort of rub it around, because I just want a really thin layer of glue. Now, you could do a couple of little dots, whatever way you can get a small amount of glue. But again, have your dry wipe nearby. If any of the glue comes out, you can then just pick it up. And I find you just have to massage it into place and let it dry like that. Now, while that dries, we can glue on the back piece. Just here. And as I said, it would look better if I had done that straight, but that doesn't matter. Now for the front piece, I'm going to put it on with dimensionals. If I had, I've got a silver one here, but, oh no, I've got a green one. I could use this, but I think this time I just want the paper to speak for itself. So I'll take that off and just use the paper and put some dimensionals. I had to grab some more dimensionals out. Did you get them in the sale? Oh, I did. So happy to get them on sale. Dimensionals, glue, tear and tape, white cardstock. Essential. I'll put one in the middle. So let's pop this on here. And I can use some blue bling because there's blue on my piece of paper, my designer series paper. So I'm just going to pop a couple up the top here, just some small ones, and one down the bottom. And I'll take some red ribbon. Now, this is my way of getting ribbon and twine through. I fold it in half, put it through from the front. Most people probably know this. I'm probably speaking to the converted. I then push it through, make the loop and push it through. And while it's loose, if it's like this where one side's flat and the other side's shiny, I turn that shiny one around and I pull. And that way you get a nice look at the front and your two shiny bits are there. And there is my quick and simple gift tag. Made in no time, just bits of paper and a couple of die cuts. But what happens if you've run out of paper? Well, we can cover that too. I've run out of paper. I haven't got any of that beautiful paper left. But I've got some die cuts left. And I've cut out that label. And I've got white paper to go over my cardstock. There's another die cut here. What am I going to do? Well, I've cut, those that did the Traditions of Christmas class will know about this. I have used the dies. Now I've used just this die here and cut the holes. And if we put this down flat, you can see I've got to get them around the right way. And they are two different shapes, so I may not get the right one. So there they are. So they go like that. And I've just cut those out so I've got this stencil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this over the top of my card. I'm going to bring in my brush and my ink. And I'm going to hold the stencil where the card is. So I'm actually going to turn it so I've got some hold on it. Because I don't want the stencil to move. And I'm putting some leaves onto my card. And I'm going to do the same on this side. Ooh, dapped it in the wrong spot, didn't I? So it's a bit dark there, but that's all right. Try and smooth it out a bit. There you go. So that's what I've done. We will need that. No, I don't think we will. We're finished with that now. Oh, yes, we do. We need to do the back piece. So I just want something down the bottom here. So let's just do the piece at the back too. So I've got some leaves that I've just used a brush to put on with. On this piece, I'm going to take my to and from and I'll use real red. So we bring some red into it. To and from. Leave that. I'm also going to, where did I put my label? It's under here. I'm also going to, we better get the cloth. Hang on, I've got ink everywhere. We'll have ink all over the place we don't want. Right, I'm also going to bring in Season's Greetings. And I can see something stuck to that stamp. Let's get it off. And I'm just going to stamp Season's Greetings on here. And then we're going to take our leaves and put a dab of glue on the back, just on the base, just one on each side. And this side where I've only got a half one, I'm putting 2. And I'm going to do the same down here. Oh, well, while they're drying, I can glue this onto the back. Now, I could have done this the other way and put it so that it was stamped that way, which probably I should have, but shall I? We've got time. Let's get it right. We'll just quickly do this. We can do this because I've done it wrong. I should have done it this way. Should have, could have, and will. That's why cardstock has 2 sides. There you go. That was quick. I'll put that out of the road. Grab this. That's better. So we'll stick this one on here. And then we'll put some glue. Now, yes, the leaves are going to hang over, so we need to put the glue on just the white. And I'm going to turn it over and hopefully not move those. Put it back where we can see what we're doing. Right. While that dries for a minute, we're going to need our punch, but we need our dimensionals for our saying or our greeting. So we'll get that ready to go. We're going to pop that on here. Now, I could have had the leaves in further if I wanted to. I should have perhaps. They're a bit far out, but that's all right. But what I meant to do before I stuck that on, which I can bend that back a bit. No, just bend it. No, it's not going to. I've just made it inside. It's a little bit short and it's not straight because of all this. Should have done it before I stuck that on. Now, I could use the red, but what if you've run out? Grab any ribbon you've got. You might have this one left over from the pears. The pears suite. I forget what it was called. But it's beautiful. It's mossy meadow, but it works so well with old olive, and it's got the gold through it, so it's great for Christmas. So we'll grab a bit of that. And we're going to pop that through there. And again, turn your ribbon so it's up the right way. Push it through and pull. And then snip them off on an angle. And just to finish this one off, I'm not going to use blue on it because there's no blue. I'm going to use these big red ones. Now, when I do the berries, I like to do 3, but if I haven't got 3, one big one's going to do, and I'm just going to slide it in under here a bit so it's sort of sticking out. You could put 2 or even 3, but I'm just doing 1. So I've got enough berries if I need to make some more. So that's what you can do if you haven't got paper, designer series paper. And you can do it with a variety of different stencils. Now I've used the holly leaves, which are here. There's I think that's like a pine sprig. And then there's this big leaf. So what do they look like? Let's have a look what we've got. I've done the pine sprig. I didn't do the big one. I just did the pine sprig. And I've done a different greeting. I've used the round circle and put merry and bright on it. And again, stamped on the back and put some of the pine sprig on the back. So I didn't do the big leaf, but I did those two. So there's another couple you can do from that set. Don't want to do a square? Why not use this big die here? Let's see what we've got. I've got the little circle. I've got a medium circle. I've got 2 of the big dies, one in green and one in that beautiful, my favourite paper. Now, I've also cut out, or got left over, some more holly leaves. I had heaps of holly leaves and different leaves left over from all the different things I've made this year. So what are we going to do? Well, let's stamp on here first. This is going to be the back because this is too small to write on. So we'll stamp on this one. Now, I think this is red already. Yes. We're just going to stamp to and from. Must be me today, it's crooked again. And on this one, I'm going to stamp merry. So, what do we do? I'm going to take the 2 reverse sides and glue them together. You have to be a bit gentle with this because it's got those edge bits that do lift up. But I'm just leaving them as they are. So that's glued together. Before we go any further, let's punch out for our string or ribbon. And you can see I knocked that one, just push it back in place. It'll sit down again. We're going to glue this on. The back here. And then we're turning it over. We will need that, so we'll just get our dimensionals again. We'll pop 3 across here. And I'm taking my 2 leaves Just another bit of glue on this side. Pop it under. And a bit of glue on this side, or maybe this side. And pop it under. And if you've run out of berries, you've run out of the red, you might have some of these. I love these. These were from last year. They've had them all year available. So I made sure I had some for this Christmas. And just pop your 3 berries on. And then some red ribbon. You could use the olive, you could use the gold. In fact, let's use the gold and see what it's like. Let's use a bit of this. I think it'll look nice with the gold. I can show you, I did do my sample one in red. But let's try it with gold. I'll just trim those. So there's my sample one. Oh, I did green, right, and red. So I've mixed it up. There you go. That's what you can do, mix it up. Actually, it probably looks nicer with green. But that's all right. Doesn't matter. It's all individual. I've put that on upside down. You can tell I was in a hurry doing these, trying to get them done to show you. So that's the ones I've done with that suite. You've got a variety you can do. You can do it with the paper, without the paper. You can use the paper and all the dies. It's just let your imagination run wild. We'll pop those aside. Let's pop this suite aside and let's see what else we've got to play with. Well, I have this. Now, these are the dies that came with this set called paper tags. That's not very Christmassy though. Stamping Up did bring out this set that had some of these to go in it. And they brought out this set. And I thought, we can play with those. So let's make a large tag. We'll pop this aside. I've cut out the base in shaded spruce. I have 2 white pieces and I have a word from my container of words. It says, "Good tidings to you." I'm going to use a Christmas tree. And I'll use shaded spruce. And I'll use this one as well. So I need to clean that. We need a white for cleaning. Quickly. I don't think we need that bit. That was left over, wasn't it? Right. I'm going to use my mat again just because I want to stamp a few times. And it is a polymer stamp. We're going to stamp on these two. And all I'm doing is shaded spruce. So I'm going to take my Christmas tree. I'm going to stamp it once, just slightly off the middle. Another one to the side. And one sort of up and higher. Again, I'm going to stamp it and then there and there, and then I want another one that's half stamped off, so I'm just going to grab a piece of paper which I thought I had left over. This will do, and I'm just going to stamp it off here a couple of times so I can stamp it here. So it's got a few different trees on it. On the back here, I'm just going to stamp it once. And then I'm going to take my to from and stamp that on. And then I'm just going to glue this on here, like so. Actually, I might put this on with dimensionals at the front. Let's glue the back piece on. And I'm just matching up that hole. Now, you'll see the white piece is cut through, but the green piece isn't, so that's going to hold that all together. Let's grab our dimensionals. They're over here. I'll just grab another page. I've buried them. So we'll just put a few dimensionals on here to hold it. And it's going under the tree. And if it's like my house, it's going to be attacked a couple of times to see who's the presents for. So be generous with your dimensionals, or if you're using them, because it could get flattened or knocked about. And again, just line up that hole and pop it on. And then I'm going to put my good tidings down the bottom. It sort of depends where you stamped it, but this time I think I will go down the bottom, so just put a couple on here. And the ribbon I'm going to use is this beautiful, I love this ribbon. And I first thought, oh, it's a bit thick for tags, but it works beautifully. So I'm just going to be generous with it, because it's that type of ribbon you feel like it's very regal, very special. So be a bit generous with it. And then, again, you've got a front side and a back side to your ribbon, so turn it round and push it through. Now you can use, you know, fuss around, get the gold showing. You can do as much as you like to make it look beautiful. But how's that? Doesn't that look special? And I will show you, I did do a practice one, which I didn't fuss around with the ribbon that much. And I had the trees lower, so I put it higher. So it's up to you. You can, this time, this one, I used, that one was the tree. This one, I used this little branch and some little red berries. So you can do a variety of little things to make that all sparkle and shine. And again, I've used that ribbon there. So another set of different ones you could come up with. And this is just a few of the stamp sets. Believe me, there are so many. I've got one more set of things that uses this little tag. I've got this one. Ooh, and this one. Now I'm going to show you how quick these are. These are just, I've cut out one of those, and one of those. For this one, we'll do first, we just take the Old Olive, that's Old Olive cardstock. I've got my Old Olive ink, and I literally just stamped onto the card. I then took my real red. Where did I throw that? I had it here. I've got a mess throwing things from to the side. I then took my real red and the Noel, and I just stamped Noel on this little piece here. And that's really pretty, Noel. I don't know if you can see it, but it has lines. So I'll see if you can. It's actually made up of lines, not a solid image. Hopefully you can see that. It's beautiful. I was really impressed. I hadn't realised that until I stamped it. So this, with its little wings, one slips there, and then you just bend the other one in behind. So it just bends in behind and slips over, and you've got your tag. And again, just go to the top and punch out. It does have a little one. I found that was a bit small to use when you're using ribbon. And so that's how you get that one. This one is even easier. I just got my red. There's two different designs I'm using. Well, actually, let's pull the other design out, and then you can see the difference. Let's give that a quick wipe. And I love the definitions in that bow too, which I haven't played enough with. So let's just pop that on here. I think I've used just about every small block I've got. Oh, it's a bit hard when I'm trying to get my head around the camera. Oh, I'll use the back, even though the back isn't as nice. The stitching, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. And then, which I don't mind that, because you can do to and from. In fact, we will. We get our to and from and give that a quick clean. Which is the front. That's the back. To and from. And on the front, we're going to stamp Cheer, Magic and Hope. Get all those out of the road. Close these up. So we don't have ink everywhere. And again, you could put any tie on this that you've got left over, any bit of ribbon. And just pop that out like so. So, look, I just wanted to show a variety of different things that you might have at home. I will tell you that I'm about to start my daughter's wrapping stuff for my daughter. I have grabbed gingerbread man paper, which I think is so cute, which matches our gingerbread man that we have. So I pulled out one of my gingerbread man cards I made, and I thought it's a little bit big for what I want, and then discovered there's a little gingerbread man in this jar of joy. So I'm going to have a fiddle with all this today and come up with some gingerbread men tags. So I will pop them on my Facebook page for you to see. But in the meantime, let's get these back out and we'll see what we've created so that you've got, remind you what you can get out of all of this. There's plenty of options in the things that we have. Let's get that under here so we have room. What else have we got? We've got more of these. And some of these here. We'll put these under here. And these ones to show. My goodness, we've just about filled the board. I have to put this one under. It's all their ribbons are kiting each other. I should have started at the bottom, shouldn't I? There's this one. And then there's this one. You go under there. And don't forget this one. So a huge variety of what you can make just by using all the different stamp sets, whatever you've got, whatever matches your paper, whatever you enjoy using, whatever you've got left over. There's plenty you can pull out and grab and make some beautiful tags and help you make the presents look lovely. I'm glad you can join me, Liz and Jane. I'm glad you've been able to get involved. Hopefully this inspires you. I actually have seen some of Jane's beautiful tags and present wrapping. Hopefully she might put one on the comments to show us. But I'd love to see what you get, what you make and how you present your presents. And if you do any special gift tags. So let's come back to me now that you've had a good look at all those. Okay. I hope that inspires you. I'd love to see what you create. And if you do create some lovely gift tags, put them in the comments. Also, if you're following along at home with the advent calendar that I've been working through and you're participating or doing your own advent calendar, I'd love to see what you're creating. All right, and so put them on the comments for each day. I'd love to see that. Here's my daughter, she's back from bowling, so it's time for me to jump off and hear how she went, and I will catch up with you next week. Hopefully we'll have, I don't know what we're going to do next week, probably have a bit of fun. It'll possibly be our last Christmas crafting. And then we might get into something more, well, not more exciting, but something new and challenging and fun. All right, have a good week. I hope your preparations for Christmas go well, and I will see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.